Welcome back to the third and final video focusing on sailing prior to its release. Before I get into it, the winner for last video's bond giveaway was whatever people 1229 RSN a runner. I'll be reaching out to you to make sure you get that before sailing is up. As of the release of this video, we are less than 2 days away from the release of sailing. In the first part, I'm going to be going over items you should have, as well as my personal plan for how I'll be starting the sailing skill. This second part will involve a lot of future theory crafting. My way is going to be significantly different than most, as I will not really be able to play much the first 3 days, due to working 12+ hour shifts for those 3 days. So, my focus is going to be on AFK and mobile leveling. First, I'm going to get into the resources. I've got a few hundred of each type of bar, a few thousand of each plank, logs, nails. I've got a bunch of the raw resources that should be able to be used in pretty much every type of boat construction, besides all of the new resources that have been added. At level 15, you unlock the first new boat, which is the skiff. And when you first unlock the skiff, you are still using the original wooden components. You have not yet unlocked the iron and oak components. So, as you can see, you can click these and find out what resources are required. So, going over all of these, the first skiff that you create, if you create it at level 15, which is what I will be doing, requires 10 wooden hull parts, 300 bronze nails, 20 swamp tar. Each of those wooden hull parts requires 5 planks. The bronze helm will cost 3 planks and 6 bronze bars. The wooden mast and the linen sails will need 10 logs, 40 bronze nails, 5 bolts of linen. The bronze keel will require 10 bronze keel parts, and each of those bronze keel parts requires 5 bronze bars. So in total, for the base skiff at level 15, you will need 53 planks, 340 bronze nails, 20 swamp tar, 10 logs, 5 bolts of linen, and 56 bronze bars. Now, with those numbers in mind, that's what is created as the base skiff. That means your skiff is currently empty. At level 15, you unlock the ability to get the bronze salvaging hook, which requires 4 planks, 16 bronze nails, 6 bronze bars, and 1 rope, and you're still using the original cargo hold, requiring 8 planks and 32 bronze nails. Going with this plan, it'll allow us to AFK salvage between the more active periods of doing port tasks, which will primarily be courier tasks. Currently have no idea on what any of these XP rates are going to be, so I'm going to continue an upgrade pattern until I hit around level 50, which unlocks the third ship, the sloop. The upgrade pattern that I'll be doing up to level 50 will be just upgrading the entirety of the ship. I don't know at this point if it will require starting a new ship or if you can upgrade the individual components. However, my main focus is going to be upgrading the cargo holds and all of the salvaging hooks. We don't know how many each of the cargo holds will carry currently, but they do start to require lead bars, which can be mineable on the Pandemonium relatively easy and at level 1 sailing. By the time we're around 50, we'll also be using steel, myth, teak, and mahogany resources. Next up is going to be the items that are going to make this above grind quicker and easier. This has been covered to death by pretty much everybody, so I'm going to make it pretty quick. The wearable items that are going to be useful are going to be Amy's saw, and the Imkondo hammer set to the offhand. Amy saw costs 500 points for mahogany homes, and the Imkondo hammer is found through the Camdozo mining. This will give you access to both the hammer and the saw without taking up a single inventory space. Other items that will be useful at the very beginning of sailing is going to be the plank sack. That costs 350 points for mahogany homes. Plank sack is going to be extremely useful throughout the entirety of sailing, as when you're going to create new parts of your ship and upgrade, load that full of the planks that you need, and the rest of your inventory can be the other resources such as steel bars, ropes, nails, other types of bars. You'll need the bolts of linen, hemp, cotton, all of those. That'll take up your inventory space, so use the plank sack so all of your planks stay in one inventory slot. A second useful item is going to be the log basket, which is obtained through forestry. That costs 5,000 anima infused bark, 300 oak, and 300 willow logs. The log basket will not be that useful early on. However, later on in the sailing skill, when you're able to get to the higher level logs that are nowhere near a bank, such as ironwood and rosewood, depending on how the teleport to boat mechanic works, the log basket might just be able to save you twice the amount of time. Next up are a few items that will definitely be useful at some point and will probably be needed to go into the coral nursery. That'll be your fishbowl helmet, your diving apparatus, and your flippers. I would suggest getting your flippers as soon as you can, as personally, a couple years back when I went to go get them, I went over 1,000 kills dry, and that absolutely sucked. And the last item that's going to fit this area of the video is going to be the cannonball mold, the double ammo mold. You can make twice as many cannonballs in the same amount of time as using a single, and this can be used prior to getting to the island with the furnace that allows you to smith cannonballs twice as fast. So, if you have a little AFK time, and you want to be doing all of those port tasks that are bounties, check all of those out, see how they do. I would take this to Edgeville, take your runite bars or the highest bar that you can shoot with the level of cannon you've got, start crafting some cannonballs, and take on some higher level bounties. Now I want to take a quick look at some of the new resources themselves. If we look into the crafting skill, for spinning, we have at level 12, turning flax into the linen yarn. 39, we have hemp into hemp yarn. And 73, cotton into cotton yarn. That will be using a spinning wheel and the new resources for that. If we go over to weaving, this requires a loom. So, that will use the previous resources that we spun, and we spin those into the bolts. So bolt of linen, bolt of canvas, and bolt of cotton. This will be an example run of how that can go. If you bank in northwest Prifdinus and you run to the southwest, this I believe is going to be the best place in the game to be able to do this currently. But there is a building that has both a spinning wheel and a loom. So you can spin all the raw materials, and then you can get them into the bolt of that material, the highest level of that resource. Right here, make another trip back to the bank, and you just got an entire inventory of that resource, fully to the highest level that you possibly can. Now, let's take a look at how you actually go ahead and get these new resources. With hemp being crafted at 39 and cotton at 73, those currently are not in the game. So we currently have no idea if you will be able to get those from existing methods, or if the seeds for those will be found some other way, or if they will drop as a drop themselves from some new type of monster, or if it will be added to a drop table. So, going on the base knowledge that we have, let's see where we can grow them. There are 5 spots in the game that you can currently grow hops, and these are part of the hops menu. The first one I'm going to look at is an Antrana, located on the southwest of the island. I believe no one's really going to be using this one, as you would have to get rid of pretty much all of your armor and weapons every time you come here to check and to plant. Most people don't really want that time sink. So the other 4 are what's going to be useful. Heading over to the east, right above the Lumbridge chicken farm, we have a hops patch. The quickest teleport to get here is going to be the Chronicle, going to the Champions Guild, and just running to the south. The second hops patch that I'm going to go over is on Alderaan, that is located right here. The quickest teleport to here will be the fairy ring code CKQ. If for some reason you don't have access to that, there is a Quetzal at the bottom of the island, as well as a house portal if you have your house set to here. The third hop patch is going to be inside Yanil, right here on the northern edge, next to the underwall tunnel agility area. And the fourth and last of the good hops patches will be located directly to the north of McRuber's Wood. You've got a few options for teleports. If you've got the music cape, you can teleport to Fallow the Bard. If not, you can either do Fairy Ring ALS, you can teleport to the Camelot Bank, which also shows up as the Seers Village teleport, or a little bit further away, Fairy Ring CJR. And looking into a bit more of the farming for the other new resources, you have Elkhorn Coral at level 28, which requires 5 giant seaweed to protect. At level 52 farming, you unlock Pillar Coral, which requires 5 Elkhorn Coral to protect. Moving further down, the first growable hardwood tree is the Camphor tree, which requires 10 white berries to protect. Going a little bit further down, level 77, we have Umbral Coral, which requires 5 Pillar Coral to protect. Level 80 farming, you unlock the Ironwood trees, which requires 10 curry leaves to protect. And finally, at level 92, you have the Rosewood tree, which requires 8 dragon fruit to protect. If we look at the map, and if we go down to the Great Conch, this is where the Coral Nursery is, along this eastern dock. There are 2 farming spots down here. Again, I assume this is going to require the diving apparatus and helm, and flippers to move a little quicker. And then that's where the coral will be grown. Then if we go to the hardwoods over on Fossil Island, here are your 3 hardwood patches. I would have all of these set up as quick as possible. And the 4th hardwood patch is located down in the Avium Savannah, right underneath the Locust Oasis. Quickest teleport to here is going to be Fairy Ring AJP. Those are the 4 hardwood locations that are currently in the game, and will help you out with collecting these new logs, potentially earlier than the sailing level would be to get them on their natural islands. And last up that I'm going to cover right now is going to be consumables that are going to be useful. If you go to the Friendly Forester, you have access to sawmill vouchers. These cost 150 bark for 10 vouchers, and these will essentially give you 1 extra plank when you turn logs into planks. The second extremely useful item is going to be Ritual Mulch. This costs another 150 bark and 10 maple logs. These can be turned into nature offerings with the high level herbs. Currently the cheapest would be Lantodime. What this does is this will give you an extra log while you're chopping, by 50 to 60% depending on how many other people are also chopping that same tree. This will be extremely useful when combined with your log basket when you're going for ironwood or rosewood in late game sailing. So, as I said at the beginning of this video, this is going to be my last pre-sailing related video to the skill. I'll be coming out with another episode of my series where I am working on maxing my main tomorrow on Tuesday, November 18th. However, good luck on November 19th to everybody. I hope you all enjoy sailing as much as we hope. Don't forget to like this video, please leave a comment and subscribe. I will see you all when sailing is released.